Hey guys, can anybody hear me? If you can, let me know if you guys can hear me. I want to make sure we're good, okay? 5 for 5, baby. 5 for 5. Let me know. 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 I'm going to keep talking. I don't see any glitching or anything like that going on as we speak. We're good. Okay. Yeah, we're good. All right. Guys, please share this out again. I am so sorry, Planet Hermit and everybody else, especially the people that left the super chats and stuff. Man, sucks. Gosh dang it. But I will say this. As I was coming back on, setting everything back up, I am not the only one having problems. Everybody that was live streaming as I was trying to get back here was saying the same thing. So this is not a me issue, I guess, if we want to call issues here. But I'm going to try to keep this simple, okay? I'm not going to go into great, smacking details. I was trying, and I'm timid to try this because I don't want to lag again. Hey Daniel, good to see you, bud. I turned off the highlights and everything for the chat because sometimes that'll eat up too much bandwidth, and I don't want to take any chances with that right now. So what we're going to do is, okay, so I got the Magnetopause models pulled up. Now there's a chance as soon as I hit play on these things, it may start going a little crazy. So I'm going to do them one at a time. This is magnetic pressure, okay? And what you're seeing, guys, yeah, look at that. That is just some crazy magnetic pressure. Now, I seen somebody, I can't remember who put it in the chat, but they told me they seen a HP reading of 11 and a half. The top we get to see is 9. So I went and looked, and sure enough, one of the 30-minute plot points had us coming in at an 11. Not a KP9, not an HP of 9, a 11. I have, for the life of me, I mean, I know that that's what they do when these things get this strong in this issue. Yeah, Daniel, this is getting to be a little, I don't like to use the words concerning, but I am a little concerned about this. We're seeing immediate issues, right? I'm not concerned for myself for not being able to, this is not the apocalypse, okay? I will just say that straight right now so everybody don't misunderstand. This is not, I'm not sitting here, doing SHTF, running for the hills or nothing like that, okay? But I do want you guys to understand that we need to take this serious. This is something that we have to take serious in the context of just being aware, okay? So I want to point that out. Now, there is your Magnetopause model. I really probably don't even really need to show you much more than that. This right here is telling the whole story. This is what's happening. You're seeing waves come in. I've never seen it look this intense, and I wouldn't have expected to, unless we get these big G-level storms. Now, it is a little sus here that we're dropping down to a G3, and things are starting to calm down. In other words, I'm getting my signal back. So, yeah. So what's that mean? Well, it just means this is ways that we can show people and let them understand that this is a real thing. That when things like this happen, we see real effects. This is what's happening. Now, I also want to say this too, okay? I want you guys to understand that the Aurora that we're seeing, a lot of it was red. Now, why is that significant? People are probably asking me. When you see red Aurora, it can be Steve also. Steve is another effect that I'm not going to talk about. It's like, well, I'll talk about it for a second, I guess. But it's produced by basically excessive heat way up in our atmosphere, and it shows up as red. Almost looks like red aurora. It's not aurora, but it looks almost exactly the same. Red aurora is produced by these highly charged particles exciting nitrogen molecules. Okay? Now, why is that significant? Well, because most of our nitrogen molecules in our atmosphere live lower down. Okay, so what that's telling us is this stuff is getting in deeper. It's affecting things closer to the surface in a bigger way. So when we see red aurora, that's why I bring that up. Okay? And for no other reason. That's the only reason I bring it up. Now, when we see green, that's typically oxygen molecules. Thank you, AK. I really appreciate you. I feel so bad for the people that left me the big super chats here, and I had to stop the stream. Man, I hate that. I know I can't control it. I just feel bad. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? Guys, if you're listening to me, the one, who left a $100 one? I can't remember the name right off the top of my head. I am so sorry. I think it was Hermit. Was it Hermit? Yeah. Guys, Hermit, if you email me, I'll send you a deck of cards. And anybody else that sent the big super chats, I'll do the same. Okay? I'll send you guys a deck of cards. I just feel really bad about this. This is just, and I know it's not really my fault, but at the same time, I want to make it right. So just email me, and I'll send you a deck of cards. They are Sunspot cards. I would show them to you, but I can't take a picture and upload it right now because everything is all jacked. So, but right now we're at a G3, so it looks like we can take a look at some stuff now. Okay. So as we're looking at this, again, this is our thank you, Angels Wings, for the gifted memberships. Really appreciate that, guys. You guys are coming through even when the stream isn't. See, I even get emotional over this stuff because you guys don't have to do any of that, and you do it anyway. It's amazing to me. And I have to say, like, when I had to kill my stream a few minutes ago and start this one, when I was pulling my page back up, Ben at Suspicious Observer, he's live right now too, and obviously he's got way more people in there. It's like 12,000, but they were having issues over there too. So, yeah. So it ain't just me. I'll just say that. Hey, Missy, good to see you. Butterfly, Stephen A. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I appreciate everybody so much. Liking, sharing, subscribing, that is how the channel grows, okay? So, but as far as the Aurora, I'm going to try to show you guys some stuff, okay? If we start buffering real bad, I'll have to kind of calm down a little bit, but this is the absorption, right? This is the X-ray background, and what this is showing us, when you see it ionize our atmosphere on the north and south pole, that's a radiation storm, guys. And this is absolutely expected, okay, when you get these big storms like this, right? Now, on a typical, like just a flare, you see this bullseye. And also, I got a text from one of my good friends, and he was asking about what side of the planet's going to be facing when this thing hits. Well, guys, this is a global event. Okay, when you're talking about geomagnetic storms, not flares, but storms, typically the whole globe is affected. It's affected a little bit more on the day side, but it's not just a quick little blast from like from a flare. Okay, a flare is here and gone. It gets here in 8 minutes. It hits us just the same, and then it's almost gone as fast, but it does hang around, and that's what you're seeing here, right? It ionizes our atmosphere, and what it does is that's a radiation storm. Now, we got to an S2 really quick, and we're already back down into an S1, I believe, okay? So I'm not going to run that movie tool, but what I do want to show you guys, I'm going to take you guys to the Aurora dashboard here, if it'll do it. I hope it doesn't get all crazy on me here. Okay, it may not. Guys, let me tell you right now, NOAA themselves, their servers or whatever they're using here, it is moving like a snail. You're seeing it right now. Typically, because I'm looking down here at my internet signal, and yeah, my internet isn't like blasting out full power, but it's not like lagging like this. This is and it got there. See? Now, also, guys, I want to point this straight up and out right now. We're already back to a G4. This is going to happen off and on, okay? So, just let me point that out. Now, what you're seeing here, guys, is the Aurora oval. And this is what's forecasted tonight for Aurora. Alright? Hey, Zachary, blessings back to you, bud. Are you leaving?
Yes.
Okay. Love you, bud.
Love
Be
you
careful.
Too. Yep.
That's my son. Had to say bye to my baby boy. My baby boy ain't no baby, though. He's 24. So, yeah. Hey, that's what we do, right? But you guys can see this, right? So this is, you know, my Rip asked earlier, where will we be seeing Aurora? How far down is it going to come? Well, you know, he was hearing reports of people saying we're going to see it in Alabama and stuff like that. I would be extremely surprised if we didn't start seeing reports from Mexico, Florida, even further south. Okay? So what that means is this is a very strong storm. It will basically open up cracks even in our magnetic field, and these Aurora can show anywhere. Now, wow, I didn't even look at this yet. See, I live in Indiana, and this Aurora, I might be able to see it with my own two eyes. So you know what I'm doing when I get off this stream, right? I'm putting my big old fat booty butt in the seat, and I'm going out to the country. Get away from the light pollution. We got clear skies tonight. I'm taking a drive. That's 100% happening. I promise you that. Now, we got severe, like, not really severe, but intense Aurora, even all the way down here. I look for it to go further south is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, we're going to start seeing this stuff. Now, this planetary K index is how we measure the geomagnetic storms, right? And so what we're going to see, it's going to max out at 9. It's not going to show you anything else. Now, I wish I could show you the HP, and I might be able to. Man, I hate to try to go get that. I really do. I hate to try to go get it, man. Oh, man, I hate to do that and then just mess up the stream. I'm not going to, but just trust me. I'll show it to you in the next stream. We had a 30-minute increment where the KP was up to a 11.5. Now, I was very, you know, when I can't remember who put it in the chat, I was like, man, are you serious? I mean, that just seems, you know, I know the chart stops at 9, but even when graphs and warning systems stop at a certain level, it does go higher, right? I mean, they can't just say, oh, it's at a 9, it's not going to get any stronger in real life, right? So they have to have a way to show it. That's why when you start hearing about X flares, you know, the most that we're going to see with an X flare on our chart is an X10, right? But we also know that the Carrington event was an X45. And I want to point this out too. I wish I got a couple videos, guys, and they're not newer videos. They're not really the quality that I like to put out nowadays. But I do have there's like four or five videos in a playlist on my channel. And I explain, and I don't even think I used my voice. I think I texted it out or wrote it out and, you know, showed you guys with some graphics and stuff. The difference between a CME and a flare. We have to understand those are two different things. So when somebody comes on here and says we got, you know, 4 or 5 X flares coming at Earth, we absolutely do not have 4 or 5 X flares coming at Earth. Those X flares have already been here by the time they open their mouth. They get here in 8 minutes. So what's happening is those people don't understand yet that there is a difference between a CME and a flare. It is critical to understand that. The CME is actually excited particles, highly charged particles, traveling. It has mass. It takes time to get here. Okay? X-ray is what a flare is. It's light. It's here in 8 minutes. Okay? It moves at the speed of light. The current HP chart no longer shows the KP11. They took it off, but I screenshot. Yeah, I took a screenshot of it too, bud. Gunslinger. I really did. I took a screenshot too. We have CMEs and ionized plasma discharge. Yep, we sure do. Daniel's a very intelligent guy, guys. So if he's talking about something in there, you might pay attention, because he really does. He understands it at a higher level than, well, sometimes even me. So, and I'm not trying to put myself up at a high level. I'm just saying, yeah. So if he's talking about that kind of stuff, he's probably speaking what it actually is. So, I'm not saying me and him always agree on everything, because we don't. And that goes for everybody. But at the same time, I also recognize intelligence and people that do the work and dive into it. Even though sometimes we don't fall in the same place when I'm talking to anybody, it doesn't mean that I don't respect people, and I always treat them with respect. And that's what we're doing here. You know, if I don't have the answer, you better bet I'm going to go find it for you, or I'm going to send you to somebody that can. That's what's going to happen here on this channel. So just understand that. So thank you guys for all the gifted memberships and stuff. That's what, you know, I say that for those people, because I want them to understand that, hey, you know, that's what you're going to get when you come here. It's not going to be a bunch of drama fest. I don't do that. You know, I'm not going to be getting all angry and stuff. I don't do that. Every once in a while I'll rant, but yeah. So there you go with the Magnetosphere tool there again. Man, I'm so afraid to start something else up. But what can we expect right here? I'm sorry I've been scrolling back and forth here a lot, guys. I know that bugs people, and it bugs me too, so I apologize. I'll try to concentrate a little bit more and not do that. But when I had to restart that stream, it kind of threw me off, so I do apologize. But what you're looking at here, guys, this is what we can expect to see with Aurora. This is one of the key things we can look at to say, hey, we are in a geomagnetic storm. This is proof. This is what's going on. You don't have to have a computer. You don't have to have a telephone. You don't have to have anything electronic. You can, if you live in the right area on the planet, you can simply walk outside and look up. Okay? That's as simple as that. So this is one of those things we can look at to 100% prove that geomagnetism causes things to happen. If it's going to excite particles, you got to understand that it's going to excite everything, if it can get to it. So the stuff comes in on our poles easier, and that's why you see a north and south pole. That's why you see a north and south Aurora Borealis. The South Pole has it too, right here. I know those of us that live up north don't really think about that, but it is the truth. That's what happens. Okay? So, again, this is more of a what we can expect just off the base KP number. This is the actual forecast. Okay? So that this model will continually take new data, and it'll keep putting it in, and it'll just keep running like this, right? And it updates. So it's giving us, I think it's that actually shows you about when this thing started. So if we look at the time here, 1655 UTC, which is what, 4:55, basically 5 o'clock UTC, which would be 1 o'clock Eastern. Okay, that's about when this started, right around lunchtime. So if I do this and I just go forward, you can see exactly when this stuff started hitting. Now we have a satellite called SOHO. It's sitting out 1 million miles closer to the sun. I get this question asked a lot. Where is this data being collected at? A lot of what we see in the data that we get it from SOHO. Okay? And I'm going to take you over here and show you SOHO because, well, because I can, I guess. I don't know. But this is SOHO. This is Earth. This is SOHO. That satellite right there. It always stays out in front of us, and it orbits the sun at the same speed as we do. Well, not the same speed, but at the same degree of movement. It takes it 365 days, just like us, to orbit the sun. It stays right there, always looking at the sun, and that's what we get to see, right? So a lot of the data is actually collected on this satellite. So why do they do that? I get that question asked of me a lot, and I don't answer it a whole lot because, for whatever reason, I don't know. I do usually answer it. I just don't spend a whole lot of time on it. They got that out there because guess what? It gives us a little bit of a lead time, a bit of a warning when something's coming. Okay, we're not going to get a warning on X-rays. That's a flare, right? But we will get warnings, a little bit of a warning with a CME that is associated or caused by that flare. So when we get X flares, and I've shown you guys multiple X flares this past week that did not produce CMEs. That in itself is proof enough to say that they're two different things. So when we see a flare, what do we expect? The big flash, right? If I take you guys back over to this, well, not that one. Let's go back to the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard. We'll let that thing load a little bit as that's doing that. And I hate to be flipping around here because it seems like we got a pretty good connection right now. And this is going to be coming in and out, guys, okay? Hey, Ripper, you in here, bud? There you are, buddy. Good to see you, man. Trinity, Ilea, everybody else, all of my mods. You guys rock. Butterfly, thank you. Daniel, you're awesome. Monk, you're here all the time. Man, you just are. You're awesome people, guys. Enlightened Truth Seeker, love it. Steven. But yeah, guys, you know, my moderators, I couldn't do this channel without them. That's just a simple fact. I am a one-man show behind the screen here, okay? Everything I'm doing, I have to, like, think all the time, and that is partially the reason I squirrel. Hey, body and soul, good to see you. And Ilea, she's just my mod sister. I mean, she's just, yeah, awesome stuff, guys. Just really good people, and that's why I always tell you guys that. And I know that I show my appreciation, and some people will tell me I show it too much. I would argue the fact that I don't. I don't think any of us can show too much appreciation. It's just my way I look at things. And when you come here, guys, I judge my success by the success of the people that I try to help. And that's just who I am. And I'm not saying that for any other reason than just to let you know who I am. That's what it is. Okay? So when the people that I'm trying to help, when they're succeeding, I feel good about that. When I'm succeeding, yes, I feel good. But guess what? I don't feel as good when I'm helping somebody else. You know what I mean? If I'm helping somebody else, I feel so much better about it. So that's how I've chosen to live my life, and it just is what it is. But this is Soho, okay? This is an actual disc on the camera. It's a physical disc. It blocks the main part of the light from the sun, so it can even, the camera can even capture an image. All right? So what we're seeing here are some of these CMEs, and most of them had X flares. Okay, so when you see that poke around, we call that a halo eruption. Now, Tamitha Scove did a video earlier today too. She does updates all the time, Dr. Tamitha Scove. Go check out her last video. She really explained a lot of this. Okay, she went into detail and everything. So I mean, she did a really good job with it, and it was. Yeah, if you guys don't know who Dr. Tamitha Scove is, you need to get your butts over there and watch her. Because, yeah, you're doing yourself a disservice. You'll get college-level information explained to you in a way that you can understand it. So I'll just say it like that. But, yeah, so when you see this halo stuff poking around, that energy, that's called a halo eruption, and that's what we've been seeing. And it's coming from that sunspot. And I'll show you guys the sunspot here in a minute. We've had most of, yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Marf is getting ready to, yeah. I just got a notification. I'm sure you guys probably heard it there. Marfugel's probably getting ready to go live here in a little while. He's talking about the same thing. Adam and Dex, I mean, they're awesome people. So, yeah. Well, thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your membership. I appreciate you. Guys, hey, Deep Quake, what's going on? Yep. It has reached category G-5, an extreme event, Sky Watchers with dark skies. Yep. Exactly, Deep Quake. it's good. And, you know, this is big stuff. Okay? So, yeah. Son, you're killing me there. All right, Doctor Who. That's right, baby. Okay, so let me I'm gonna take you guys back to, and I want to give you guys a little bit more information because I just don't want to lose the stream here, and I'm afraid if I keep trying to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna X out of some of this stuff, okay, and we'll keep this one up at all times, but I'm gonna try to go to some of these other sites and see if it'll let me in, load, any of that stuff. Everything on the internet right now is running extremely slow. At least the space weather sites are. You see this? This is just nuts. I don't know if it's me or if it's somebody else or whatever. I'm trying to look at my... Yeah, I mean, my signal isn't the best. Let's see if I can't... Yeah, okay. So, what are we going to see here? We're going to look at some of these sunspots, okay? Some of these flares. So I'm going to take it back to the 8th here. And it's going to take a minute to load, so please cut me some slack here, alright? So let's do the... Yeah, let's do the 131. And what this is an extreme ultraviolet image, okay? And as it loads, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just a part of the light spectrum we cannot see with our eyes. Okay, so they put a filter on the camera and it looks at specific gases. Alright, so the 131 is the angstrom we're getting ready to look at. It's trying to load right now. Okay, but what we'll see here is a specific gas and it gives us certain details on the sun. So we're able to see it flaring, we're able to see CMEs pop off, all this stuff. It's really cool technology. It's something really awesome. Now, this is coming from a satellite that is in geosynchronistic orbit. It's actually hanging out close to the Earth. And it stays over the same part of the Earth. It's in the Eastern Pacific, Southeastern, and it does a figure 8 pattern, but it stays on in that same spot, okay? And it rotates with us. It orbits us as we rotate. And it orbits at the same time frame as we rotate in degrees, okay? 15 degrees an hour. So that makes it stay over the same part of the planet, right? So what you're going to see here, and that's just the viewpoint. So for all intents and purposes, it's from our point of view, okay? But I know I go into detail there, but that's just what we see, right? What kind of, okay, we're not zoomed in too far there. And this always takes a second to load anyway. But as you can see here, guys, this sunspot was blowing. It's now, thank God, on the backside. Okay? Oh, man. Are you kidding me? That's devastating. I hit the wrong button. But it ain't going to take as long to load. That's what... Guys, y'all know we get mad about having cookies on our computer. But without those cookies, it would have had to reload all of that. But you can see how this camera has issues, right? When it starts getting over flooded with light. That's why Soho actually has that occulter disc. Okay? So when we're talking about this, just keep in mind that most of that stuff is a necessity. Without it, we wouldn't see anything. So we get X flares, X flares, X flares, and more X flares from this sunspot. And this is just the best way for me to show you that. Now, what I can do is we'll go back and I'll change to a different model here. Same model, just different filter. And what we're going to look at is the actual magnetogram. Okay, it's going to show us the sunspot and its magnetic cores. And we're able to see positive and negative and how they're interacting with each other. Okay, we'll let that thing load. As it's doing that, we'll go over here. But we're back up to a G4. So if we start having some issues here, that might be why. That's what I'll say there. But I'll show you this as as SDO is loading. This is actually from a different satellite. I believe this is coming from GOES 16. It's the GOES satellite system that a lot of the weather stations use. Okay? There's a lot of GOES satellites up there, and they orbit in different patterns. Some of them are north-south, some of them go east-west, some of them are on a slanted orbit. But they do that so they can cover everything. So when you go to like what website is that? Well, the National Weather Service uses the GOES satellite system. So when you see like people using cloud cover maps and stuff like that, they're getting it from these satellites. But these same satellites have imagers on them also that look at the sun. Some of them do anyway. And so this is that sunspot. This thing has got to be one of the most complex sunspots I have ever seen. And when I say complex, it means that we've got negative and positive intermixing, and it makes it very unstable. Okay? So I want you guys to see kind of the metamorphosis here as this thing evolves. Right? This is over a course of 3 days. Watch how the stuff here changes. Right? And right now it's not really changing all that much. But if I was to take you guys back 2 more days before this, it wasn't very big at all. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to do that. Let's just do that real quick. How about that? What we'll do is we'll just have it load 1 day. We'll go to the 5th to the 6th. How about that? And it'll cut down on the load time there. So anyway, we'll let that load. It probably won't take all that long. But yeah. Typically, guys, when you come here from my stream, looking for someone to supplement my data? Huh. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So, what we're going to do, it just hit us with an X5. Yeah, well, an X5. We're at a G-5. Okay? A geomagnetic storm are measured by G numbers here. This is let me explain that real quick. A KP, that's the indice they use to measure geomagnetic activity. When we get to a KP of 5, that's a G1 storm, geomagnetic storm. Okay, these are 3 different kinds of storms. So a G2, obviously, as numbers go up, so do the G numbers there. Okay, so G3 is what we consider a strong storm. G4 is severe. G5, that's extreme, right? We haven't seen a G5, I think it was 2003, the Halloween storm. Okay? So it's been over that many years since we've had a G5. Especially something that is long-lasting like this. This is a train of CMEs that are going to continue just to blast us. Alright? Now, as we keep moving here, let's go back here. So here's that sunspot. Remember what it looked like when it was over here? Look, that's what it looked like 5 days ago. Ain't that amazing? That just blows my mind, guys. It really does. So if we take it back and we go, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have it pull up like one image here. We'll look at 1 day of data. How about that? The 10th, well, I guess we can go to the 11th. The 11th to the 11th, maybe. We'll see. It may not have anything for the 11th yet. There's a lag on this. It's not really real time, I would say. I would call this more of a, yeah, I don't know. Doesn't look like that's going to give us any imaging. So, oh, maybe it is. Okay, yeah, it did. So we'll pause it. Look at this thing. When you're looking at this, you're looking at positive, negative, right? So positive and negative is one of those things that are just, yeah. When they start intermingling like this, what happens is you get a reconnection point. When they get that reconnection point, when that reconnection happens, not a point, that's when it flares. So they consider this one sunspot. And back here during its genesis, we seen it right here growing. But when it got about here, there was another sunspot that was behind it, and they merged. And it became one sunspot. Now, I know you're looking at this like, well, that ain't just one spot. There's all these reds and blue. Yeah, they consider that one sunspot. That is kind of confusing, I guess, if you look at it like that. But when I say complex, I'm talking about all the intermingling here within one spot. When it does that, it becomes very unstable. And for a long time, this has been able, it's harboring enough energy that it's been able to fire X flares for over a week. So that's what's been happening. So, you know, this sunspot here and the one that was here that's now over on the limb on the other side, you know what's happening there? Those two actually fired at the same time earlier on. We call those sympathetic sunspots. They were basically communicating with each other, even that long distance. And just for reference here, guys, this sunspot, let me show it to you here because it's a better reference for what I'm going to show you. You could fit 15 to 20 Earths from here to here. It's about 200,000 kilometers wide. That's how big this sunspot is. Hey, Idaho Keith, good to see you, bud. Tabs in the hizzy. Zadrith. X5 on Space Weather homepage. Solar Flux, sir. Yep. Yep. Oh, we got an X5? Another flare? Really? Are you kidding me or not? I mean, is that something that's... Let me go look. This isn't showing us that's the KP. I don't want to see that. I need to get X-ray. Yeah, we did. Look at that, guys. Holy cow. Wow. Look at that. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Oh my gosh. During a G-5 storm, we get an X5 solar flare. How does that happen? Wow. I mean, I just don't even know what to say at this point, guys. It's not showing here, though. Wonder why. It is showing an R3. Maybe the X5 hasn't come in yet. It's showing an R3 right now, so I know we just had an X flare. An R3 is the beginning of flaring. Okay, X flares. Alright? And just for a side note here, we've already dropped out of the radiation storm. See, we had an S2 earlier, and that's why I don't talk about the radiation storms too much, because we really don't even know what's going on. It's something they added just a few years ago to kind of look at, to let us know that we're getting bombarded with protons, and it lets us know certain energy's coming, and we can gain other information from that. Now, a higher level radiation storm, obviously, we need to pay attention to, but for the most part, unless it's getting up into S3, S4 range, you're not even going to have to worry about anything. Now, if you are watching, like if you're flying a lot, if you're flying up high latitudes towards the poles, if you're pregnant, if you're a pilot, and pilots already know this, cabin crew, they don't let them fly in those conditions, but for a certain amount of hours a year. And the reason why, because it's essentially like taking an X-ray. Okay? You know, when I was a kid, they didn't worry about it too much. But as I've grown and technology and medical stuff has become more intelligent, what's happening here, and we've gained a lot of knowledge, they understand now that getting an X-ray, if you're young or if you're pregnant, is not a good thing. So I'll just say that. A Z flare. I love those. Oh, you skipped the Y, though. JR. You skipped it. You skipped it. But yeah. So again, guys, with that being said, that is just it's a huge sunspot. And also, guys, we got this coronal hole, and I know that's not anything to do with the story right now. But I can show you this X flare right here. Okay? This is the one that everybody's saying was an X5. I haven't seen the X5 yet, but this is that flare. Watch it. It's going to happen right here. Okay? This is the GOES satellite. I think it's GOES 18. Nope, this one's 16. Okay, GOES number 16 satellite, and it's the same extreme ultraviolet, and it's got a filter on it, and what we're looking at is the 195 angstrom. We can't see it with our eyes, so they put a filter on it, and it's looking at a specific gas. So when this thing actually flares, now I can tell you right now that this is probably going to be a halo CME also. And let me tell you why. If you watch this, you'll see the corona. You almost see a shock wave. Okay? See it kind of like go out in all directions. So that's going to have at least a glancing component to hitting us. That's going to hit us. Now, I can't tell you exactly when. Obviously, it just happened. So we had an X-flare, and now we have another CME to talk about. That's just the fact. That's what we're seeing right there. So, again, that puts the number up close to 10. Hey, Pam B, thank you. Appreciate that. Hey, Ron, good to see you. Guys, you guys want good earthquake information, get over and check out Ron over at Emergency Management Associates. Please. Great guy, great information. But thank you, Pam B. I really do appreciate that. You're extra OG? Me too. Okay, so as we're looking at this again, and I know I'm hanging out here, guys. Well, I'm hanging out here for a reason. Because I'm waiting to see if anything else is going to happen. I don't want to pop off and then just be like, with the messed up stream, the first one, I don't want to, yeah, I just feel really bad about that. Hermit, if you're in here, I apologize, man. Please come back. Please email me. I want to take care of that for you, okay? Hey, Vicky, good to see you. Another one of my internet mamas. Hey, Cul-de-sac, good to see you. Thank you for the super chat earlier. Appreciate you. Zinga zinga. Yeah, could be getting ready to change. But anyway, guys, so let me just keep moving here. And if you guys got any questions on what's actually, you know, the definition of stuff, if you have any questions on anything, really, just ask me, okay? What we can do, though, we can look at the actual space weather data. Okay, so when we're looking at this, one of the main things we look at is called the BZ. We look for -6 as a threshold. Okay, when we get to -6 or more, it's the number we look at for the polarity of our magnetic field. Okay, so it gives us a magnetic orientation, right? So when we're seeing that, it gets to -6, where the magnetic field and stuff is in a position that we can couple with all the energy coming, so it lets it in easier. Now on the butt end of that, you're looking, if it goes into the positive like it did here during this big storm, it went to 62 on the positive there. Okay, the opposite effect happens. It starts to deflect things a lot better. So when we're -6, that's really all you got to remember. If you don't want to have a deep understanding of what that actually is, all you really got to remember, if you come over here and look at this, and I highly encourage you to do so, please come look at this data yourself and read up on it a little bit. But the -6 is what we look for, and they put this little blue or purple box here for you to understand that when that's showing up, that is at -6. Now for reference, this model, this graph, usually only goes from 0 to 10. Right now they got it at 0 to 100, -100 there and 100 up here on the positive. What that means is, yeah, we're getting, yeah, the the polarity is severely tilted, okay? So that's what we're talking about, and this is one of the reasons why we're getting hit so hard. If we had stayed in the positive here, I don't know that we would have got the G5 yet, if at all. So that is a key component that everybody needs to pay attention to and look at. Now, the density. Again, this usually goes 0 to 10, sometimes 100 on the top end. This is showing 0 to 1,000. When it does that, it's probably picking up readings over 100. So as we look at this, at least somewhere during this run, some of this can actually be a mistake too. But that's 109. That happened at, yeah, see, that happened before the storm even started. So that's probably a default in the data collection there. Okay, it's not a default, but a glitch or just a bad reading. Okay, I don't think we got to 109 back there. Okay, that's before the storm even started. So, yeah. But as you can see, we're staying constant here on the density, you know, between 30 and 40. I need to take a drink of pop, guys. Hold on one second. Sorry. Now the speed. Now you guys, anybody that's watched me for any length of time knows when I talk about this, The normal speed is 300 to 500 kilometers per second. With that being said, we're getting readings over 800, it seems to anyway, or close to it. That's about 2 million miles per hour. Okay, that's fast, guys. 300 to 500 is what we consider normal. But I also say this, when the density and the speed go up at the same time, that's when we take the hardest hits. It's very indicative of what we see. Okay? Now when we get the, again, the negative, this BZ is so important. I've seen us take a smack with a high dense CME, and our BZ would stay in the positive, or right near neutral, 0, and we wouldn't even hardly get into geomagnetic storming, if at all. So that's how important that is. Okay? Now with these bigger CMEs, with the double impacts, all the triple impacts that we're talking about right now, it can overcome that. Okay? These bigger hits, yes, it's not going to really matter as much in the effect that we're going to experience geomagnetic storming, but it can matter in the effect of how strong it is. So, but it can overcome that, okay? Just so you know, the bigger ones. Now, again, if people are talking about like a kill shot, that's not what I'm talking about, okay? A kill shot makes people think immediately, one shot, everything out, right? And that can happen, right? But it would take something massive. We're not talking like a G-5. I mean, we're talking something massive that's going to do that, okay? Something that we've never seen. So, with that being said, you know, the Carrington event itself was not even that, okay? The Carrington event was a double hit from basically two large CMEs with the large X-class flare, X45 flare that caused the CMEs, right? So we got that kind of double hit thing that happened back then in 1859. There were telegraph hubs catching on fire. Telegraphs were actually still being processed with no wires. It was traveling through the air. Some of that stuff was. Some of that info was. That's how much geomagnetism was hanging around. Okay, I think there were reports of like the operators that ran the telegraphs themselves, the handsets and stuff catching fire in their hand. Okay, so that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Now, we've not ever had a test like that since then. What's different for us is now that our world is so wrapped around and just all about electricity, right? We've not had that big test yet. So everybody has their theories what would happen. Some people are very conservative. Some people are just way off the other end, right? And that's okay. Wherever you fall, that's your theory. But at the end of the day, nobody knows exactly what would happen. We really don't. None of us have been here for anything like that. There's not been any like data collection, any kind of space age, any collection at all since that big event that we could point to give us any confidence to say, hey, this is exactly what would happen. None of us can say that. Okay? So when somebody says that, you know, 100% this is going to happen, or 100% this isn't going to happen, you have to take pause there and really pay attention to what's being said. Because, you know, I live my life. This is how I do my thing around here on my channel too. I don't like to be wrong, right? I'm wrong a lot. But one thing I'm good at is being able to learn and come on here and tell you guys when I'm wrong. I listen to people. I pay attention when somebody respectfully tells me, hey man, you're wrong and here's why. Okay? I don't push my thoughts onto anybody, and I never will. I'm going to be, you know, very assertive when I think I'm correct, because I'm allowed to, right? Just like you guys are. Everybody is. But you don't have to be mean and nasty. That's what I'm saying. And the second you think you know everything about one in particular subject is the second you stop learning. Your learning stops right there. To me, that's just an egotistical, such a big ego like that would just be, it stops you from growing. It's just a bad place to be. So, you know, if you come here, you're not going to get that kind of a thing. You're going to get what you're hearing right now. I'm nowcasting. That's what I do. I don't like to forecast because I've gotten things wrong before. I think people in this genre of what I'm reporting on here, I think they need to have more patience, because I didn't used to have the patience, and I've seen both sides of it. When stuff like this big G-5 just happened, I hopped out here real quick. Yeah, I didn't get anything wrong, but I felt like just trying to catch up, right? If I'd have had patience, I could have gave a better start to all that. Maybe things would have been a little bit different tonight. I don't know. But the streaming problem wasn't my fault. But the rest of it, yeah. That's why I squirreled a little bit at the beginning. But at the same time, the bigger thing with patience is allowing the data to come in. You got to let that data come in before you start drawing conclusions. And coming out here and telling people about it. How do you know it's bad when you haven't even seen the whole storm? I don't understand that. And I used to be trying to get out here first and do this and do that. Then I caught myself having to come back on and saying, guys, I got this wrong. I got this wrong. I got this wrong. I got this wrong. Not because I'm stupid, which can be argued, I guess, but because I didn't have patience. It takes a lot. So don't find yourself in a spot. If anybody's doing channels, if anybody's doing anything like that, please have patience. It takes typically almost 3 days, 2 to 3 days for these CMEs to get here. A flare, we can't do nothing about. We can't do nothing about a CME either, guys, other than throw our stuff in a Faraday cage real quick. It really is that simple. But I have to say, this right here is an event that, you know, I talk about a G5, I talk about this, I talk about that, and when it happens, it still shocks you. It really, truly does. And it's like, what in the world's going on? What should I do? You know, and this is where the awareness comes in. This is where looking at stuff through a prepper's eyes actually is extremely handy. You got to be real and you got to be able to prep all at the same time. And that place that you're going to find, guess what? Is different for all of us. It just is. So I go to where I'm comfortable as far as when I'm prepping and stuff like that, and I take it one step further than what I think I need to. And that gives me peace of mind, right? Because ultimately I'm not going to live my life if I don't have peace of mind, right? I mean, that's really what we're trying to achieve. But I also want to point something else out here too. Check out this. The Sunspot coming in here. Check that out. Watch. This thing here is going to be active, guys. This is one that we had. It survived the backside. This was in front of us a couple weeks ago. So it's made its backside trip there. But you see how it's already starting to flare and erupt? Look at that. So that's probably going to be our next ball game here, guys, after this one gets out of the picture. Okay? So, but we do keep an eye on that around here, so I'll just say that. But yeah, so at the end of the day, it matters how things happen, but it matters more how you react when they happen. So looking at things through a prepper's eyeballs and able to accept it when things are wrong, when things are right, do all of that and be real about stuff. Okay? I tend to lean on the conservative part of things. I'm not one that just runs right out here and does all this, right? But I still prep. I think it's important. Even if it's just for a tornado. Anybody that has been living in the United States the past few weeks has seen devastating tornadoes. That in itself is enough to have prepping supplies. Snowstorms. Me and Rip just had this conversation on the phone. And that's what I'm trying to say, guys. And again, everybody's welcome to do what they want. Some people up and move and go to different locations. Well, I think that's what Ben did. He, over at Suspicious Observer, he took off and went to the Valley of the Sun, I think is where he went. He's in Colorado. But again, that's where he's comfortable, right? All of us don't necessarily have to do that, because that doesn't make us feel any better if we're there or not, right? So if you're that person, listen to everybody around you, but do what you need to do to make yourself feel comfortable. And that's what I say. That's how I live my life. I don't judge people that are doing whatever they do. I think in some situations, yeah, I don't think I'd want to live in certain areas. But that comes down to my opinion. And I'm not going to force mine onto anybody. And I'm not saying that he is doing that over there. I'm not saying that at all. I just use that as an example, because that's the first thing that came to my mind. So I know he up and moved over there and started the ranch and all that stuff, which is awesome. But, hey, Papa, thank you so much. Fugle fam unite, baby. Heck yeah. Thanks for all the hard work, Wages. Thank you so much, Papa. Papa Yorn. But, yeah, this is just one for the books, guys. This will be in one of those categories of one of the highest storms that we've had. I just want to point that out, okay? We need to make sure that we recognize that, because this is one of those situations that it's just happening that way. Yeah. So, and also, guys, when you come here, I'm not going to push you guys to people's channels that are not going to be, I don't know. I don't even want to say it. I'm not even going to talk about that right now. We just don't do drama here on this channel is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? I won't fight with people. I will not have a video for video fight. That's not going to happen here. I think Marfugo might be getting ready to go live, guys. If he's live, I'm probably going to go ahead and, let's see here. Is he, yeah, he's live. Okay. Okay, yeah, he's live. So, I'll probably go ahead and shut this one off, guys. I don't really have a whole lot more to show you. But with that being said, what I'm going to do is do this. Let's copy that link. Let's do this real quick. We'll go back to mine. And here you go. There's the link to Marsh's live stream. He's live right now, guys. He's talking about the very same thing. So what we're going to do, we are going to go ahead and end this one. Hey, Trish, good to see you. And thanks, everybody, for all the support and coming back. Thank you guys for, well, gosh, I got at 1.3 thousand people in my chat. I don't know if I've ever had a number that high, guys. So thank you for that. And please come back. I'm going to be doing multiple updates this weekend. And I'm going to try to keep them very short. This one I went long on purpose because of the previous stream. I just couldn't do nothing with it. It killed me. It really did. And people were, doing super chats and becoming members. I just felt really bad about it. So, but anyway, guys, I am going to go ahead and pop off. We are currently at a G4. We just had another X flare. Okay. I seen in the chat maybe an R5. Not R5, but an X5 class solar flare. Right now, we have an R3. Well, I guess I could update that and see if it stays the same. We'll see if it stays the same there. You know what I'm saying? It looks like it might be. But, short of me glitching out again, guys, this is where I'm going to be, okay? I will see you guys in the next stream. God bless. Yahusha saves. And, yeah. You can drink this Kool-Aid.